Hi. Hello. Welcome back. It's been 3 weeks since our last episode, and this is a special
Way to
Saturday
make that
night
sound like
edition.
confession.
Yeah, it was. It's yeah. It's been 3 weeks since my last podcast recording. So real life happens. So Pat and I was sick. Pat got a new job. Busy stuff like that. Family holidays. It's a line of excuses that I'm willing to use. But yeah, no, we're back. It's a special. We're recording Friday night, posting Saturday, because Wednesday didn't work. Like I said, real life stuff happened, but we were able to squeeze in this supposed to be a shorter episode just so we can get something out there. Not a lot's changed in the league itself. I'm still in first place. Pat's still in last place, even though I lost to one of the worst teams in the league last week. Somehow, some
Thank
way.
you for that, by the way.
What? Losing to him?
I was in last place until that happened.
Right, yeah. So
Need
look,
my first overall draft pick.
this is what happens when you go against the guy who has Justin Jefferson and Darnell Mooney putting up between the two of them 60 points. So yeah, it happens. So today, like I said, it's gonna be shorter than our normal episodes, hopefully, until Pat goes on a tangent that extends it.
Depends on how long it takes for Tim to get to the point.
Listen, Patrick,
Hey, what's up?
it's called filibustering. So, what we're gonna do today is, or at least what I'm gonna do today, 3 players that if you haven't hit your trade deadline to target for the rest of the season. I know we're mainly a dynasty podcast, but we're also at the end of the year where you make the push for that championship. 3 players I consider league winners, basically guys who haven't been studs or are on the brink of becoming a stud for the rest of the fantasy season based on their matchups, and they can help you win. We'll start with the quarterback here. For me, it's Tua. I don't like Tua. I like Tua's matchups. He's got to play the Jets one more time in the playoffs. He's got to play the Titans. He's got good matchups, and he's been a serviceable fantasy quarterback when he's gotten the starts. Even when he came in for Jacoby Brissett when he got hurt, he still put up 12 fantasy points. So Tua's got a favorable schedule. He doesn't have a good matchup this weekend against Carolina, but after this weekend, they're all either average or plus matchups for him. So it's something where he could be scoring in the high teens, and he'd be a buy low target because he doesn't have too much value, in my opinion, in Dynasty. Agree, disagree, comment, concern?
Works for me.
Okay.
I still don't like him. I just don't think he's going to be good. So,
Yeah,
I mean, if you're looking at targets, okay. Two is probably owned by someone who is emotionally invested more so than physically invested.
I have Tua in a couple leagues. I have no emotional attachment to him at all. Someone makes me an offer for him, I'm probably going to trade him. I have him as a backup, like emergency
Good
option.
advice, then. Yeah. Wait, I hope the rest of you people in your fantasy league listen. Here's who you need to win. By the way, I own him. Trade for me.
Yeah, no, I think I just have better quarterbacks in those leagues. Like I have Aaron Rodgers or I have Kyler Murray. I'm not going to treat you to one of those guys. I'll trade Tua though. It's just Tua's my insurance policy for if Rodgers' toe injury lingers or Kyler's ankle lingers.
Does he have an anchor?
His ankle is his anchor.
Get that looked at.
His ankle is his anchor, and DeAndre Hopkins is apparently his anchor too, because they just don't want to play without each other, I guess.
All right, so I think I get the point of this. So league winner, quarterback here, Josh Allen, clearly. That's like, oh, do you not want like just the best one? Carson Wentz.
Okay, Carson Wentz has been quietly good this year, fantasy.
He has been quiet. He's also been very quiet recently because Jonathan Taylor has been rocking out.
Yep.
Which I do expect to continue, but he does catch a lot of screen passes and score that way. So Carson Wentz can still put up points. Michael Pittman is still there. Finishing out the season, they get Arizona, Las Vegas, and Jacksonville. Not anyone that I would say scares me in terms of pass defense.
Vegas is good every other week, it seems like, so who knows?
It depends on which Vegas team shows up. It also depends on how healthy you are. I know you look at the Cowboys still putting up 33 points. They're missing their wide receivers.
Yeah.
all of them. So I mean, it's still a significant amount of points. One was off of defense, but um, it's points. Vegas isn't gonna hold you to 10 points. So I do think there's a lot of opportunity there, and Carson Wentz is probably not on anyone's super high hold list. So if you're in a struggle situation where quarterback's hurt, or your quarterback is Zach Wilson, who faces top three defenses his last week, I don't know why that would be your quarterback, but he's the other person on my fantasy team that I'm staring at right now. So conveniently, the other one's Josh Allen, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But if you're looking for a buy low quarterback, it's probably as low as mid to high range QB2 to possibly low end QB1, depending on game script, could go.
Yeah, no, Carson Wentz was number 2 on my list, if I'm being honest. It was between him and Tua. But I just think that Tua's been very consistent with his fantasy points, and I think it's only going to go up. It's not going to go down.
They don't really have a running game, so
right, and that's like why Josh
points got to
Allen.
come from somewhere.
Right. Going to move on to running back now. For me, it's Pat's boy from the beginning of the year. It's Miles Sanders. I don't know if anyone's been paying attention. But the Eagles have been running the crap out of the football ever since Miles Sanders got hurt. And then he comes back last week and carries the ball 16 times for 94 yards. Miles Sanders put the ball on the ground twice last week, though, but Jordan Howard's out. So it's going to be the Miles Sanders show this weekend. And as long as he doesn't put the ball on the ground, he's going up against the Giants' rush defense. Not a good rush defense. You want to know what he has the following week? The Jets. Not a good rush defense. So then you got for the playoffs, you got the Washington football team, the Giants, and the Washington football team. And you know who's not playing for the Washington football team anymore? Chase Young. So he's getting the ball. He's going to continue to get the ball. He's by far the best running back on that team. He was averaging almost 5 yards a carry before he got hurt. They just only gave him the ball 13 times for the whole entire year pretty much. So they're going to use Miles Sanders. So I think, and because Miles Sanders hasn't performed, you might be able to get him on a cheaper side. He's a younger running back in Dynasty, so he should hold somewhat value, but he's not going to hold the same value as like trading for a Joe Mixon right now.
So Washington football team, their defense has been coming on a lot more after they lost Chase Young, which doesn't make any sense, but it's been happening. Miles Sanders finally is getting touches. He still hasn't found the end zone.
Right.
He's found the ground with the ball, as you mentioned, which I expect that to stop. That's when you're finally getting the ball, you get a little antsy. So
he was also out
it was a big shock for him when he kept getting handed the ball. He's like, "What the f- is this thing?"
He was out for
Throw
pretty
it
much.
away.
He was
Bye,
out for
bye,
pretty much
hot
4
potato.
games. He got hurt after only 6 carries in the game against the Raiders, and then he was out for 3 games. So yeah, it's the first game back. I'm not expecting him to be.
Yeah, and then while he was out, the Eagles decided maybe we just run the ball.
And Jordan Howard
At
became
least that's
fantasy
what they
relevant
needed. They
again.
needed him to go out.
Mm-hmm.
So mine would be a little bit off the edge. Someone who you may have just grabbed or possibly could grab. And that's Matt Breida.
Interesting.
Devin Singletary played a pretty solid role last week, but Zach Moss played no role.
Yeah, this was we're talking about last night.
And the 2 weeks before that, it's been the same thing.
Yeah.
So they've been steadily increasing his touches. He has found the end zone.
He's also very fast.
3 times in 3 games. He's put up significant fantasy points as far as someone who you would have picked up off waivers. Not someone you have to invest anything in. Someone who's probably still sitting on the waiver wire unless someone in your league desperately needed a running back because all of theirs are on IR, like mine. So he's on my team. But he's probably still sitting on the waiver wire in most of your leagues. The next 2 matchups probably won't help that. He'll probably stay there. New England and Tampa Bay boast 2 pretty decent run defenses. So does Carolina. But then you get into the fantasy playoffs. And he has Atlanta and the Jets.
Jets suck against the run.
The Jets suck, and so does Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to get picked up at some point because he keeps finding the end zone. But over the next 4 weeks, there's a chance he gets dropped again because people are going to give up on him. But I don't think the Bills will.
Right.
I think the Bills are looking for literally anything in the backfield that can gain yards. I expect him to get double-digit touches from now on, and I think that will result in something worth having come playoff time. He's not anyone you have to go trade for.
No.
Sit him on the bench. Go get him, stash him, and wait. Running backs have been dropping like flies this year. And then when you think one's good, he either gets hurt or they stop using him. Very confusing situation in running backs this year.
Yep.
So grabbing a Matt Breida this week when he's shown that he's going to get double-digit touches, when he just played against the third-best rush defense and still scored a touchdown, maybe something that you can put on your bench and hold on to.
I like Breida.
And
he's very quick.
Those last 2 weeks are going to be something that are big. Plus, you're going to get last 2 weeks extended season. Someone's going to get sat out. Someone's going to hurt their ankle because their team's in the playoffs already. So you're getting a little bit earlier on the bench than you normally would, I think. You're getting split touches because you don't want people to get hurt. So there's always a chance. And I think you can still pick them up. So I think that's a beneficial move.
Right. Going on to wide receiver. I was between two guys for this. I was between Darnell Mooney and the guy I chose. Darnell Mooney, also someone that you should go out and acquire, but I'm going to talk about Elijah Moore. So Elijah Moore, second-round pick for the Jets this year, was not being used for whatever reason up until like 4 weeks ago, and he's been a top 10 fantasy wide receiver, average points per game over that span. Last week, he was, I believe, wide receiver 1 on the week, or up there on the week. He put up 31 points in our sleeper score, scoring 8 catches, 141 yards, and a touchdown on 11 targets. So Houston this week, good matchup. Philadelphia, it depends on who Darius Slay is covering. If Darius Slay is going to stay with Corey Davis or if he's going to come to Elijah Moore whenever Elijah Moore comes on the field, because Moore's still not playing above 67% snap share right now. Following week, New Orleans, same thing, Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore got destroyed by Stephon Diggs, though, last night. Thursday night. Diggs had 7 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. You don't think so?
Please leave Stephon Diggs out of this conversation. He's just a monster.
Yeah, so
he burned him on that route for that touchdown so bad that at home I fell off my chair.
Yeah.
So not everyone is going to run routes that crisp. Not everyone's going to make those moves.
No, and I'm not saying
Stephon Diggs got 2 different opportunities where he should have made catches broken up by Lattimore. So let's not knock Lattimore as much for.
I'm not.
That's like getting beat by DeAndre Hopkins.
But what I'm saying,
sometimes you're going to lose.
What I'm saying is every cornerback in this league has a vulnerability to him except for Jalen Ramsey. And the thing with Lattimore is, and it's shown when he's gone against other speed wide receivers, is they can burn him on a double move, which is what Diggs did.
Well, you also don't know who they're going to cover. The Corey Davis is still your wide receiver 1.
Exactly,
so
and that's what the point I was saying with Darius Slay covering.
It's rough to put matchups for their cornerback 1. If Corey Davis is healthy, I think Elijah Moore gets softer matchups.
Yeah, and the New Orleans secondary besides Marshawn Lattimore is awful.
Is no one. Yeah,
it's awful. So that's why I like Elijah Moore going against New Orleans. And that starts the fantasy playoffs. Then he goes against Miami. Miami's a team he just got the 8 catches for 141 yards against. So
yeah, but their defense is still coming back to it. So
it is. It's not the best. It's not the best matchup. And then Tampa Bay week 17. It all depends on how playoffs are shaping up in week 17. It's not the week before the playoffs start, but if Tampa Bay's got a nice,
their secondary has looked soft this year also. So I mean that's not anything.
Also the thing
those are 2 secondaries you don't expect to be soft.
Right.
that have been softer than they really should be.
Yeah, in between Miami and Tampa Bay is Jacksonville, so that's a plus matchup. And then with Tampa Bay, going against Tampa Bay, the thing with that matchup is garbage time. Garbage time counts in fantasy still. If the Buccaneers go up big on the Jets, there's going to be garbage time passes to Elijah Moore. That's fine with me. I'll take those
He's
fantasy
already
points.
excelled in garbage time this year. He
Very
can
much
excel
so.
again in garbage time.
Right. But I don't know if you're going to be able to go out and acquire Elijah Moore on a buy low. I don't think so. I have Elijah Moore in a couple leagues, and if someone tried to offer me like a 3rd round pick for him right now, I tell him to go kick rocks. Like, I'd be looking for high value for him right now because he's a rookie and he's balling out right now, and he's been balling out with 3 different quarterbacks. And now he's getting the quarterback that he had a lot of chemistry with during training camp and during preseason games. But they didn't have him on the field when Zach Wilson was playing. They had him on the field, but they weren't using him. Like week 1, he had 86% snap share and he only got 4 targets. I don't know what the game plan was, but
if you look at what's been happening with Moore and Mitchell, not Mitchell, the hell's his name? Yeah, Elijah Mitchell.
for the 49ers, yeah,
That's not the one I want. Who's your running back?
Michael Carter.
Oh, that guy. There we go. Who just got hurt.
Yeah.
But his snap usage is way up from that also. So they were clearly running veterans, and then realized, well, this sucks. And then they went back to youth.
Right, but Elijah Moore week 1 had 84, and then week 2, 78%, and then he dropped to 48 the next week.
If you're not, you build the offense. So they obviously their offense wasn't working. You try to change some scheme. Rookie can't pick up on scheme. Now rookie can pick up on scheme. Their schemes work much better recently.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense has worked much better recently. Now losing Michael Carter, you're going to think throw more, but also you're going to get less sellout to the run game. No one is worried about Tevin Coleman, and I don't care what anyone thinks about Tevin Coleman. They're not worried about him.
Tevin
now
Coleman's
Michael Carter's injury is short term, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Yep.
So he'll be back.
I think it's Ty
time
Johnson.
for that.
It's Ty Johnson, not Tevin Coleman.
Ty Johnson's the receiving back. I think they'll split it. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't
think either way though. I don't think their running game presents any sort of immediate damaging concern for defenses. I think they'll be focusing more. Your middle linebackers will be dropping back a little more. You're not selling out the way you were when Michael Carter was in the backfield putting up 20-plus fantasy points a week. So I think that does change it a little bit. Let's see who Zach Wilson is when he comes back from this injury. Zach Wilson was a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, he had one up in there.
Yeah, well, King to Ka.
Yeah, he was literally King to Ka. Like started real low and then accelerated really quickly and then went right back down.
Hey, just put him back in London. He's doing fine. So it's going to be interesting.
He was terrible
for me.
in London.
He came back. He was much better.
No, he did well before London. The Tennessee game was
I don't keep track of him. I tried to trade him 8 times, but
the Tennessee
Berman
game
just offers me shitty trades for him, so I don't want to trade him.
The Tennessee game was the week before they went to London, and then they went to London and Zach
Tennessee
Wilson
just
sucked.
sucks against terrible teams. That's just.
Yeah, look at
that's
Houston.
Not fair. Yeah. Well, hey, look who gets Houston this week.
Right, the Jets. Woo! Let's
There's
go.
A matchup.
Yo, Tyrod Taylor, baby.
Just waiting for Tyrod Taylor to run in 3 touchdowns this week.
That's fine with me. I'm starting him in your league.
Of course you are. Why wouldn't you be? For your 2, even the 2 that you mentioned, the biggest problem for me is there is no buy low.
Mooney, you still might be able to get a little.
They're both, they're both too young. Unless someone who has Darnell Mooney is just dumb.
Well, I offered Mooney in a trade to someone, and they told me there's no way I want Darnell Mooney. He's trash. Granted, that person's value.
Unfortunately, they don't have Darnell Mooney. You do.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I tried.
It's the person who has him probably knows the value. So that's up to the person you're trying to get him from. The person who has Elijah Moore probably knows the value. So those are going to be 2 that are really hard to go and get. I got 2, 1 trade target, Brandon Ayuk. He's been up recently, so maybe you missed the buy low window. But they've been using Deebo Samuel out of the backfield,
And it's been really, really
and
working
it's
really well
worked.
for them.
Yeah, it's worked great.
What was he, 8 for 78 last week on the ground and a touchdown? And
He
he had one
scored 2
catch.
rushing touchdowns in back-to-back games. So, I mean,
He's Raheem
they're probably
Mostert.
gonna keep doing that.
He's Raheem
I
Mostert
don't
in this
think
offense now.
if it works, you don't break it. Which puts Ayuk and George Kittle as your 2 receiving options, and because of those things, Ayuk has put up 2 20-point fantasy weeks in the last 3 weeks, with one dud against the Rams because Deebo Samuel was in the backfield and Jalen Ramsey was all over Brandon Ayuk. And unfortunately, if Jalen Ramsey's all over, you're probably gonna have a bad day.
right, and he's out of Shanahan's doghouse because he was in that doghouse for some reason.
You have Atlanta, Tennessee, Houston.
Sounds like rough matchups. I don't like it.
Atlanta, Tennessee, Houston.
Yeah, those just strike fear into me so hard.
Roar. Maybe they'll be so far out of the game that Ayuk will sit, but that's about the only time you'd have to worry about that. The other one, someone I also just picked up off of waivers in my own league, Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
Who's probably still on waivers in your league too.
Well, I don't know.
No, I think he is because I was the one who was going to pick him up and then the game started. But in most people's leagues, he's probably on waivers.
He looked good.
And he has great chemistry with Jared Goff.
And nobody else in
Detroit
Detroit
does. Which I think means more than anything else.
And no one else in Detroit does except for Hopkins.
More so than anything else is that Jared Goff is used to the way Josh Reynolds runs routes. He likes the fact that he could throw a duck up in the air and Josh Reynolds is going to go get it.
So every throw.
Yeah, but Josh Reynolds goes and gets him. The rest of them fall over and the ball goes the other way. Have you watched any games they played? No one should have, so that's fair.
I watched yesterday.
You shouldn't have. Whatever it was a mistake.
I was paying attention when the Bears were on offense for Darnell Mooney, if I'm being honest.
I was paying attention for the first 2 drives while Josh Reynolds scored, and I was in first place in DraftKings, and I was going to win $200,000. Needless to say, I won $15. Did not end well. Turns out the last game kind of had a lot of fantasy points scored in it.
Josh Allen.
I told them to stop the count, but they don't listen to me.
No.
No. Figure.
Yeah.
But Josh Reynolds, waiver wire, easy stash, wide receiver 3, flex.
Put in the claim for him now.
Brandon Ayuk. I think he's just gonna go up. I think there's.
And Garoppolo's playing well too. He's been
playing well enough with Deebo Samuel running the ball that he can throw it to someone else.
Mm-hmm. I like the way the 49ers offense looks.
Opportunity, plenty of opportunity there for both of them. I don't think Josh Reynolds will need many targets to put up fantasy points. He's a red zone target like Hawkinson. And that's where Goff was used to looking for him when he played for the Rams. He would play 3 downs the entire game, and all of them were in the red zone. So I just think the connection and the chemistry between the 2 of those is going to make an impact. And that's someone who's on waivers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to spend a bunch of money, you're in Dynasty League, you don't want to throw away players that you think might be good to go get something different. There's players on waivers right now that are going to make moves. Mm-hmm. Or players that should have probably been picked up before these week's games started.
Yep. Like Josh
because
Reynolds.
That was your spot. Josh Reynolds and Matt Breida, I think both of them were probably this week, so I really wish we had done this Wednesday night. Because they would have both been names I said out loud.
Ow.
And I would have looked really smart today.
You would have.
Conveniently, I did pick them both up, so I still feel really smart. I just didn't get to say it on YouTube, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. Who cares if you win if you didn't say it on YouTube?
Tight end, I didn't come up with one because it's tight end.
Freiermuth.
That's literally the only person I could think it would be Pat Freiermuth. Ebron got hurt again, so it's Freiermuth's show. So he's, what is he, tight end what on the year? Tight end 14.
He's gotta be up high at this point.
He's tight end 14.
Almost a tight end 1.
He's tight end 14 right now on the year.
I'd say him and I probably want to give it one more game. but you may not get one more game. Gerald Everett, he looked like he had solid chemistry with Russell Wilson coming back, and he's going to be on waivers. I don't think there's many people who own Gerald Everett.
I've picked him up and dropped him a couple times in different leagues.
Yeah, I mean, going down the line, he's probably on waivers. So
I have him in your league.
Chance there.
I have him in your league, and I'm starting him this week because Travis Kelce's on a bye. So if he plays well, I'm going to hold on to him. Obviously, I don't want someone else to have him.
So there's your trade target. I say would be Freiermuth, and I mean Ruff's also because he's young, so sometimes you have to give up Miles Sanders to get him. But no idea where that could come from. Just
I don't know
these things out loud.
Where Pat and I made to some league members another trade because we've been making so many trades.
I just don't think
together.
They like us.
No, we made our second trade of the year together, and that was a big deal. So it was almost the first veto trade in our league. So
it was close.
Well, it was only close because Mike selected the wrong thing. It was 4-4 at one point, and Mike looked at his thing and goes, "Oh crap! I selected veto by accident and switched it." So
it's close.
Yeah, but if we did this episode like 2 weeks ago, I would have said Logan Thomas because he was coming back off IR and he was still on IR at the time. Once he comes back into a role that Ricky Seals-Jones has been playing in, and Ricky Seals-Jones has been doing decent to above average in certain aspects of it, and Logan Thomas is better than Ricky Seals-Jones. So
Ricky Seals-Jones has excelled in good matchups. He's done nothing in anything else.
Yeah,
and that's like CJ, who's your mama? Like if you get that bottom four against defending the tight end, and you have a quarterback that has eyes, which sometimes Burrow and Heineke both do, you end up exploiting those matchups. So,
right, I like Logan Thomas. I think he's good.
If you look at Evan Ingram, has one of the easiest matchups this week. I can't wait to see how often Danny Jones throws him the ball.
Oh God, I hate Evan Ingram.
I can't wait. It's everyone else who's played against that defense has had 8 catches and a touchdown. I can't wait to see how Evan Ingram does this week.
Oh, no, thank you. No, thank you at all.
3 catches for 20 yards and a fumble.
Probably.
I just want to say something crazy just in case it happens. Everything else already happened this week, so I don't get any credit for that on YouTube. You gotta try.
I know.
Try for something.
I know. So I figured, Pat, why don't we do something fun to end the show? And by fun, I
was actually going to ask you how you did on your Thanksgiving Day picks.
Not good. 1 for 3.
Really?
1 for 3.
1 for 3.
I got the Bills right. You went 3 for 3. How many points did you bid?
7.
Oh, nice. Good. You need them because our division's terrible.
Yeah, our division sucks.
Yeah, I'm winning that division.
Rough. Not anymore.
The week's not over.
The week's over for you.
No, it's not. Anyway, I figured while we're on, and we usually do this at the end of the episode anyway, why don't we do a live pick our DraftKings?
Ooh.
Right?
I had to get DraftKings open.
Yeah.
I just won $15. I have money to do a DraftKings lineup.
There you go.
I think I have money to do a DraftKings lineup anyway.
See, for me, I pick my defense first because it's the cheapest option, and then I like to get that set.
All right, so let's do defense first. Let's go here. Let's see what we got. Defense. Ooh, someone gets to play the Jets this week. I'm taking the Houston Texans defense.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah, so for me, I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons because Trevor Lawrence likes to throw the ball to the other team a lot.
The Falcons don't like to catch from their own quarterback. You think they're going to catch from someone else's?
Yeah.
Fine.
Tight
end second?
You know what? Actually, I'm switching it. No, I'm switching it. Screw you. I'm switching it. I'm switching it to the Texans.
No, you can't take the same defense.
I can take the same defense.
Now I got to pick a new defense.
Fine. I'll go back to the...
I'll take the Jacksonville defense. I don't even care.
Okay, that's
I won't do that. I'm taking the Texans defense.
No, I'll take Jacksonville then. We'll do that then. We'll take the 2 cheapest defenses and go off of that. So tight end next? Is that what you said?
Yeah, let's do tight end next.
Ew.
I just talked about him. God, take him.
Evan Ingram, he's so cheap. He's so cheap. Wasn't Farrell Brown a wide receiver at one point?
Yeah, that's what I thought, but that's Farrell Cooper. I did some research on that. I actually did this already, and then read
Oh.
Farrell Brown. And went, wait a minute, he's a wide receiver. He's not.
So you're taking
I was
Evan.
wrong.
You're taking Evan Ingram at what?
No,
38.
I am.
I took Noah Fant.
Damn it.
He's been playing really good lately.
I know he's playing. The Chargers suck.
Yup.
Give me Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, he looked good on last week on
That
Monday
feels
night.
different. He gets a lot of targets from him. Antonio Brown's still out. Let's do that. What do you want to pick next?
I'm going quarterback next. Start from the top.
Quarterback.
I went with
All right.
Jimmy Garoppolo against Minnesota.
The old Jimmy G. I'm going to go down to the bottom of this list. I'm going to put in crazy-haired, stabbed in the chest, Tyrod Taylor.
That's a good pick.
I just hate the Jets this week, apparently, because I've picked 3 people, and 2 of them are playing the Jets.
Good.
All right.
Good.
RB1.
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 You know what? It's a shot in the dark here, but I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor. I don't know if he's going to do good this week. It's kind of like hit or miss with him, but I think I'm going to go with Jonathan Taylor.
I'm going to not spend money yet. I love the Jonathan Taylor pick because obviously he's going to pick up massive amounts of points.
Until he hits the 10K mark, I'm picking Jonathan Taylor.
I'm gonna save money in the first one and go with James Robinson.
What's he at right now?
62.
Interesting. My RB2, I'm going to go with my boy Miles Sanders, going against the Giants.
Let's grab a wide receiver one.
Oh, you're going wide receiver one first?
I'm going to just go with my man. I'm going to take Debo right at the top.
Oh, I took
Debo Samuel.
I took Ayuk for the sack with Jimmy G.
Okay. I'm going to go back with another super expensive wide receiver because apparently I like spending money here.
Mm-hmm.
I take Jamar Chase.
He's got a nice matchup against Pittsburgh.
Held quiet for a little bit. Let's see what happens next.
I took Elijah Moore. Going against Houston, 5,600. I'll take it. And then I'll finish off with another Moore with DJ Moore.
I'm going to go a little cheap on this one and go with Russell Gage.
Interesting.
Russell Gage. All right. Let's see how cheap we can get. Should pick a second running back first.
I went with Miles Sanders for 5,100.
I have that set. Interesting.
I switched out DJ Moore for Devonta Smith, by the way.
All right. Let's go with Dontrell Hillyard.
Well, that's a cheap option.
4,600. Leaves me 69 for my last player. Not that I planned that.
I had
that's what I have.
I had 6,000 left over for my last player, and my last player is whichever Green Bay running back is active. So right now I have Aaron Jones in there, and if Aaron Jones doesn't play, I'm switching it to AJ Dillon.
I don't like either one of them.
The Rams' rush defense has been not top tier like
Coming
it
off
used
a
to
bye
be.
week, baby.
It's still not top tier like it used to be.
Coming off a bye week. Gonna go crazy.
But yeah, if Aaron Jones doesn't play, I'm switching to AJ Dillon. Because they're pretty much the same price. I think AJ Dillon's 58 and Jones is 6,000.
I feel like I want to spend more money somewhere. Because I don't really want anyone that's in this range.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It's when you get to that, like, you think you're good with that amount, and then it's like,
But I'm going to take Brandon Cooks.
Got a good matchup.
Which leaves me over $1,000 still.
You can improve one of your running backs.
What fun is that? I'm going to take the Eagles defense.
Going against Danny Dimes.
Advantageous. They scored a couple of touchdowns over the last week. I got some extra money.
By the way, that's a defense that if they're on the waiver wire, go ahead and grab them. They have a very nice fantasy playoff schedule. It's the same schedule that Miles Sanders has. So,
do I want them or do I want the Panthers?
Panthers are going against Miami.
They're going against Tua. Give me the Eagles.
All right. So,
Eagles play well against the Giants.
my official lineup. Jimmy G at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, Miles Sanders at running back, Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Devonta Smith at wide receiver, Noah Fant at tight end, Aaron Jones in the flex or A.J. Dillon if Aaron Jones is inactive, and then the Jaguars defense.
All right, I completely changed my mind again, so I hope you're happy with that. I'm going to go from the bottom to the top. That way we can go over what I changed. Texans defense still. Brandon Cooks, Rob Gronkowski, Russell Gage, Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, Dontrell Hillyard, James Robinson, and Joe Burrow.
Oh, that's where you spent up on Joe Burrow.
There's your change.
Okay.
Joe Burrow. Spending money at the quarterback.
All right. So,
Lineup submitted.
mine too.
Nice.
And this is good. We're right at the 36-minute mark. I wanted to keep tonight short. Pat, anything you want to add before we say goodnight?
You suck. Oh, that's from Berman. I quoted that. You're welcome.
That hurt my feelings a little.
Oh, no.
Okay, good night, everyone.